Welcome back to round 8 of the Abstrakt Sales Academy. I'm Ben Newman, and you figured it out by now. I get so fired up to be with each and every single one of you every single round to talk about your greatness and getting to the next level of your success. And today is a topic that I absolutely love talking about. It's branding, it's marketing, and it's about living your brand 24/7. Whether it's a company that you represent, that you own yourself, you're a sole practitioner, whether you're part of a big company, it's your opportunity to recognize that branding is a 24/7 job these days. You can't get away from it. Social media makes us available all the time. All your decisions and choices are a reflection of your beliefs, the company's values, and it's out there all the time. I'm one of those individuals who, when it comes to technology, I was never that much into it, but now I love it. I'm getting a little bit better at it every day. But I remember I started on Facebook. Then Facebook became Facebook and Twitter. Then it was Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Then I added the Facebook fan page. Then you go to Instagram. Then you add Snapchat. Now it's Periscope. And let me tell you, if you guys want daily fire, you want more fire and energy, check us out on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, @ContinuedFight. I'm putting out videos every day on Periscope to continue to light that fire on your journey. But you see, that's part of branding. Branding and marketing 24/7, oftentimes it's about consistency of your message. So I'm going to ask you some questions throughout the course of this video to kind of get a check as to where you are on your marketing and your branding, and how subtle changes and improvements might make a difference for you to finish round 8 through round 12 as strong as you possibly can to get to that next level. So let's start there. Consistency. How consistent are you in your message? How consistent are you in sharing your logo? How consistent are you in the branding of your colors? Has anybody noticed this is the 8th video and I'm always wearing black? You see, it's one of those things that people have now come to expect in our videos. We actually have a YouTube channel. It's New Man, New Woman, New Week. You will find on that YouTube channel 79 episodes of fire. I'm wearing a black shirt in every single one. It's the branding that people come to expect. Oh, that's the guy who wears the black shirt all the time. Some of them probably wonder, is that the only outfit I have, even though the black is always different black? They recognize the black. People recognize consistency. People recognize consistency in the words that you use. I'll give you an example on Instagram. Let's think about Instagram when we think about consistency of message. I've recognized, and our team pays very close attention to what gets likes and what doesn't get likes, and what are the memes that get more likes than others. And a little side question, are you using Instagram yet? Because Instagram is the most powerful platform today in order to drive your message and to build a following. It's incredible what you can accomplish on Instagram. We have seen messages turn into sales, messages turn into fans, messages turn into followers. It's incredible. What we found on Instagram is people like short, powerful messages that resonate with them. If you're on Instagram, sell 20% of the time. Offer a product 20% of the time. If you're selling cars and every post is about a car that you have at a discounted cost, people will be turned off by that. So what are messages that you can share? So maybe it's things that are for car lovers. It's foods that car lovers like, wines that car lovers like. It's powerful motivational messages that car lovers like. It's articles about car lovers. It's not always about selling the car. So what we found is, if I'm offering a book, let's say Leave Your Legacy, if you go to our Instagram page, you may only see that book pop up maybe once every 20 posts. It's all motivation, it's message. It's for you on your journey to bring fire and inspiration, because that's what our brand is all about, bringing out the greatness in you. So you see consistency in that message. The greatest companies that drive branding and marketing, they have that consistency and they build brand awareness. People know what you do and the value that you bring by focusing on the things that make you unique in the marketplace. So here's the question, what makes you unique in the marketplace? And when you're having conversations with your clients, do you speak to your uniqueness so that they understand the value that you can bring? How often do you hammer on that uniqueness? It is so important when it comes to branding and marketing. The next thing that I would share when it comes to branding 24/7 marketing is the most successful companies get to the point where people don't even know that the competition exists anymore. How do you do that? Consistency, uniqueness, and driving the daily disciplines, the daily choices, so that people recognize you are the best. You are best in class. Your work is different than anybody else's work. So when they think of a company that does what you do, they think of your name first, they think of your brand, they think of your logo, they think of your colors. Best example I could give you, Kleenex. Kleenex. So every single month, you all don't get to see this, but my main man, Grant, he takes care of cutting these videos, making sure that everything is prime and it's perfect. He does an incredible job of putting everything together for you. All these things happen with the power of team, and Grant does an incredible job. So Grant is behind the camera right now. So imagine this. If I were to take a box of Sam's Club tissue paper, and I were to take it to Grant right now, I recognize, I say, small interruption in the video, I can tell Grant's nose is running. So I say, Sam's Club tissue paper, and all around the box it says Sam's Club tissue paper, Sam's Club tissue paper. And I walk it over to Grant and I say, Grant, here's some tissue paper. I noticed that your nose is running. Grant would end up taking the tissue paper, and what would he say to me? He'd say, hey Newman, thanks for the Kleenex. Isn't that incredible? What's amazing is that Kleenex, I could literally, the box says Sam's Club all around it. I actually say, here's tissue paper. And more than likely the response is, hey Newman, thanks for the Kleenex. Why? Because it's been brand awareness. It's consistency. And nobody knows that anything else exists. They know that it exists, but they always speak to it as Kleenex. That is the power of brand. So what can you do to drive consistency and uniqueness to build brand so that people only think of you when they think of companies that need your services? So take some time here in this video. Slow down. This video is going to be a little bit shorter to give you some work time. Slow down and figure out, what are we doing that's consistent? We're going to talk about ownership of your daily choices later. What can you do to be unique? Or what are you already doing that's unique? And are you doing it enough? Are there enough touches? And are you doing enough with your daily choices for people to recognize you are the go-to brand for what you do? All of this comes down to daily choices. Think of it this way. If our team put out one motivational meme on Instagram every 4 days, would we build consistency and uniqueness that we're putting out powerful messages? And not just messages, messages that have captions. If you follow us at Continued Fight on Instagram, you'll see there's powerful captions with every message. Things that take the actual picture and deliver a lesson. That's consistency, that's uniqueness. It's not once every 4 days, 5 days, 6 days. It's guaranteed 2 times a day and sometimes 3 times a day, because it's the consistency of the fire that allows people to recognize the consistency, the uniqueness of the brand, to come to our company for fire and passion and energy for you to go to the next level to drive greatness and performance. So how are you doing in these areas, and what are the little things that you can do to improve? Now, I know every video you've gotten used to it. Ben's talking about Prize Fighter Day, talking about daily choices, talking about ownership of those daily choices. It's like every single video. And I always tell you, I'm going to keep talking about those things because that's the difference. The reason why ownership of daily choices is so important is I can't control how many additional followers you're going to have from your marketing and your branding tomorrow. I can't control how many you're going to have from 6 months from now. I can't control or tell you when your next big rate of return is going to come on a current advertising promotional project that you're running 6 months from now, a year from now. But what I can share with you is when you have consistency in delivery of the message and you're pushing that message out, you increase the probability of driving those sales and driving the growth of the company. It's pretty simple. So when I think of a Prize Fighter Day, I think for you to perform at your highest level, what are those things you can do personally? What are those things you can do professionally? And what are those things you can do to serve others? And we're talking about this professional piece. If you want to grow brand and marketing, how many times a day are you putting it out into the world, into the market? Are you saying things that resonate? And are you saying it enough that people recognize who you are and what you do? So whether it's yourself or it's somebody from your team who's responsible for marketing and branding, how often is that message being sent out into the marketplace so people clearly understand what you do? Most people aren't sitting around in their homes saying, oh, I'm going to go down the street and go to this car company to buy a car. That typically happens if that car company is doing an incredible job of branding and marketing, word of mouth, they're getting referrals, people are talking great things about the sales force, the sales team, everybody that works there. But if your company is quiet, expect quiet results. When you get loud, and when I say loud, it doesn't have to be my kind of energy bouncing off the walls, just bringing it right in your face, but loud in terms of your words and consistency of the message. It builds that brand awareness and people will say, that's where I'm going to buy a car. So what are your daily choices? How do they look? There's an exercise for you. If you look in your workbook, you'll actually see there's a page. And on this page for you, it breaks down, are you taking ownership of your daily choices? You'll see on the left column, it lists what are your daily choices? What are the things that you're focusing on a daily basis? Now you can do this exercise solely for branding and marketing, branding 24/7, or you can do it for branding, marketing, and other facets of your business and things you control and you focus on every single day. Because remember, this isn't results, it's the daily choices that drive results. It's the daily choices that drive brand and market awareness. On the right-hand side, you'll see ownership of your choices. And then there's a Y and there's an N. What's the why? Yes, I'm following through, and no, I'm not following through. So how are you doing on the daily choices, and are you following through? Then you'll see some lines after the Y and the N. On that line, if you are falling short of where you want to be, write down what you can improve. Don't beat yourself up, but write down what can I do to improve and to drive performance to the next level with branding and marketing, or with sales, or with my efforts. And if it's a yes, don't have that content mindset where you think you have it all figured out. I mess things up all the time. That's why we have an incredible team. That's why we work with great contracting companies. That's why I have coaches. That's why I have mentors, because I'm trying to get better every single day. So even when I run through these exercises for our company, if it's a yes, we're still asking the question, what can we do to improve? What more can we do? So typically, how does that break down for us? Well, for me to bring fire and passion and energy to each and every single one of you, I can't rely on old messages and old stories. I have to try to improve every single day myself. I have to read books. You know, Relentless by Tim Grover recently, Mindset by Carol Dweck recently, reading great articles, studying research, the mind, psychology, to bring the best fire to you for you to have improvement in your life. Why do I do that? So you don't have to read the books and do the research. We can have this fun together every single round with the Abstrakt Sales Academy to bring you the fire to drive that greatness. So let's give you a real life example. Now, I do want to share with you what I'm about to do is tough for me. I know I do share stories about athletes that I've worked with or companies, and I may touch on it on the surface, but a lot of times I don't dig down deep enough. Or a lot of times I'll give an example of somebody else's story. And there was recently some big things that have happened with our company, with our brand, with our marketing. So I was actually with my personal trainer. And I was with Jamie. He's incredible. For those of you that are in St. Louis, go check out the Red Fitness Lounge, Jamie Mushlin. And it's unbelievable how he pushes me. But I remember the morning workout. It was actually this morning, the day of the filming. And I remember we were together and I said, I'm delivering this message on marketing and branding, and there are these stories that I want to share, but the story's actually about me, and it's kind of an in-your-face message, and it's kind of giving it to him direct and saying, hey, here's what I was telling myself, and here's what happened, and the brand is building, and it's been kind of wild. So I just want to share with you right now, I'm about to bring you some serious fire. I'm about to bring you some serious passion, some serious energy, and I'm about to talk about myself. It's not easy for me to do this, but I'm going to do this to provide the example that when I'm off of this camera, I'm living that brand 24/7. I'm pushing myself. I'm challenging myself. I'm not just reading books, coming up with things that maybe sound good and getting on this camera and saying, okay, I'm going to bring the fire, I'm going to turn on the switch, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to eat a bunch of ice cream, and I'm never going to work out, and I'm never going to work hard, and I'm not going to do anything, and I'm not going to build a business. I'm just going to make these videos. No, I am challenging myself every single day, just like I challenge you to dig down deep with your daily choices to get to that next level. So many of you remember from an earlier round, and if you don't remember this, you can go back and you can watch the earlier rounds. Your I am statements. The I am statements are the answer to a who are you question. And the who are you question, when you ask that of yourself, provides the opportunity for you to say, I am, and to answer with things you've already accomplished. Or to say, I am, and to answer with things that you believe that you can accomplish. When you think bigger, and that purpose is bigger than you, and that vision is incredibly big, it gives you the opportunity to pull it down, to put it right in front of your face, and to make decisions and choices that will drive unbelievable performance in your life. So in January of 2014, I remember I had written down 2 new I am statements to drive my thinking. Because remember, your success is not just about changing your habits, it's about changing the way that you think. It's the combination of both. I remember writing down on paper these 2 I am statements that got me to think even bigger, to challenge me to grow, to challenge me to go to our team and to say, what can we do better? What can we do differently? How do we get to that next level? And the statements were, I am the performance coach for professional and collegiate athletes, and I am the motivator to empower and inspire high performers. Now those are big I am statements. I am statements that could take a lifetime to fulfill, and that's what fires me up about them. On the business side of things, this is January of 2014. I had already been doing coaching with successful financial advisors, business owners, entrepreneurs, but listen to what happened. I'm going to mention 3 clients, not by name, not by company name, but just the size of these companies and the work that we're now doing. I now have the opportunity to coach a real estate firm that does $100 million in sales a year, a staffing firm that does $50 million a year coaching the vice president in this family business. And in addition, I'm now doing coaching work with the vice president of one of the largest banks in the world, who runs the mortgage division for this bank in the #1 office in the entire country for their sales. Remember what the statement was? I am the motivator to empower and inspire high performers. The level of high performers we're working with is on a whole new level. Why? Because every day we broke it down to the daily disciplines and choices that would get us in front of those individuals. Some of you may be saying, what does this have to do with brand? It has everything to do with brand. Because my belief to work with those people allows people to see their team. Their team, that's who you want to go to work with for elite high performance. Now how about on the athletic side? Oh, this is the one that gets me fired up, and these are the stories that I want to share with you to bring that fire and bring that passion, because some incredible things have happened. In January of 2014, I was working with 3 players in the NFL. That's it, 3. That was pretty cool. Some people who do performance coaching like I do, they'll work with high school athletes, collegiate athletes, and it could be a dream to work with 1 NFL athlete. So it was amazing. It was an awesome time to have the ability to work with these 3. But I can share with you, right before this filming of round 8 of the Abstrakt Sales Academy, the last 3 weeks, I've been at 3 different NFL training camps. The New England Patriots, the Washington Redskins, and I just got done with a visit at St. Louis Rams camp. 14 NFL players, 10 different teams. Professional golfers, professional baseball players. A boxer who now holds 3 championship belts. A UFC fighter who's getting ready to fight later on this year, who when he wins that fight, he'll fight for the world championship in the toughest weight division. Collegiate teams that have won national championships. The work that we have done is a direct result of how hard we have worked to build the brand, to put the message out into those arenas that we have value. And the 6 proven mental training principles that I've shared with all of you, that you can get by getting the Mental Toughness Playbook for free. I'm sure you've downloaded it by now, but if you haven't, you can get it for free at freeplaybook.net. It is those proven tools that have driven performance for these business owners in those boardrooms, as well as on these athletic fields with these athletes. Now here's what's special. Let me share a special story about one of these visits. Now this one was pretty amazing for me, and he's become like a little brother to me, and he shares the message, so it's nothing private anymore. But one of the running backs for the New England Patriots, Jonas Gray, has literally become like a little brother. I love this guy to death. And I went out to Patriots training camp, and I show up to Foxborough, and it was the first day of training camp. It's when they were doing their conditioning tests, and a lot of things were going on with the team and the media. So Bill Belichick said, no family, no fans, we're going to close things down. Tomorrow will be the first day that's open. So I texted Jonas when I landed, and I said, Jonas, what should I go do until I see you tonight for dinner? And he responded back, go to the Hall of Fame. My jersey is still hanging in the Hall of Fame there in Patriots Hall of Fame. I go to the Hall of Fame, I go in, and if you can picture this, I'm standing in front of this case. Now I'm going to keep my emotions together. I'm an emotional guy. I cry when I watch Extreme Home Makeovers, but I'm going to keep it together for you. I'm standing in front of this case, and here was Jonas Gray's jersey with all the dirt all over it, game-worn jersey from the Indianapolis Colts game last year. There was the football that he held when he scored his 4th touchdown in that game. And then as a result of the performance in that game, there was the front cover of Sports Illustrated with Jonas Gray carrying the football on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. Now, why am I sharing this story with you? I'm sharing this story with you because our team worked incredibly hard building our brand, and we are just getting started. But what's so amazing about this story is here I was saying these I am statements. I am the performance coach for professional and collegiate athletes. When I made that statement, I didn't even know Jonas. I ended up meeting Jonas last year at training camp. We had an unbelievably tight bond right out of the get. When he started the season last year for the ending up being a Super Bowl champion New England Patriots, when he started the season, he was on the practice squad. Here's what's amazing. It was the belief in our principles and Jonas's belief in himself that put him on Sports Illustrated, because when you start the season on practice squad, what are the odds of being on the front cover of Sports Illustrated? I used to leave, and I'm not telling you anything private because Jonas shares it emotionally in messages when he does speaking engagements. I used to leave Jonas pre-game speeches for practice. Do you believe enough in your company, in your values, and your brand? Do you believe enough in your I am statements, the vision of where you're going, to do things that sometimes seem crazy and don't even make sense, but they're in alignment with where you're going? The messages you put out. That's right, pre-game speeches for practice. And we can look back on it now and say it was those pre-game speeches for practice that gave him the mental mindset to be ready when Stephen Ridley went down and Belichick picked up that phone and said, Jonas, it is your time. Jonas was ready to go in and take the ball as the starting running back game 1. It was those beliefs that led to Jonas having that record-setting performance. That's why he's in that Patriots Hall of Fame. No Patriots player had ever rushed for 100 yards in the first half and the second half of a game. He did it. 201 yards, 4 touchdowns, front cover of Sports Illustrated. He ended up leading the team in rushing yards and touchdowns last year. And now he wears a beautiful Super Bowl ring on his finger. I had the opportunity to wear that ring. Boy, it is big. It is beautiful. But the amazing thing about the Patriots is they wear that ring because of the process, hammering away at the process, the process, the process. So I share that story not to impress you. It's everything that I did. It's really nothing I did. I shared fire and passion. Jonas did all the work. Just like it's your opportunity, if you choose to follow through on your daily choices and disciplines. But at the end of the day, what has driven our team to fight for opportunities like that, to go to the Super Bowl with Jonas, to be on the field with the Patriots after they've won the Super Bowl. What enabled those opportunities to happen was the belief in the I am statement that I am the performance coach for professional and collegiate athletes. And that statement has changed how I push myself personally. So you may be wondering, well, how does this guy push himself? How does he challenge himself? It's not just reading books. It's not just by my mentors. It's not just by my coaches. I started to have different philosophies as to the shape that I needed to get in, to have more confidence when I walked into a boardroom with somebody who runs a $100 million company, or when I walk into that locker room with a professional athlete who's playing at the highest level. So back in January of 2014, I started focusing on my nutrition, eating better foods, drinking less alcohol, focusing on what went into my body, working out at a completely different level. Last year, challenging myself to get into professional boxing shape, hiring a trainer to do that, challenging and pushing to be uncomfortable to drive performance. In January of 2014, I weighed 205 pounds. Now I'm 6'2". At 205 pounds, I don't think anybody looked at me and said, boy, that guy needs to lose weight. But the reality was I set goals to push myself. When I did that fight, when I trained for 4 months to get into professional boxing shape, I weighed in at 183 pounds. It was the least amount of weight I'd weighed in at since I was in high school. I was lean, almost too lean maybe. But I had challenged myself with the eating and the daily disciplines to get there. Last August, I set a new goal, and this is crazy. Once again, on the day of the filming of this video, this is what's amazing and intense about this, is that I set a goal that I would get to 13% body fat. Now, I hadn't been below 13% body fat in a long, long time as well. Even when I'd gotten into the professional boxing shape, I was a little bit higher than 13% body fat, because my nutrition still had areas where I can improve, and those had been new disciplines. Now I had longer consistency, so I wanted to challenge myself there. 13% body fat. The goal to do it was August 24th, 2015. Today's date for the filming of this video, August the 12th, 2015. I had to actually go to get a biometric screening this morning to get tested for health insurance to make sure glucose levels were right, cholesterol levels were right, and guess what they tested? Body fat. Now I was actually on the 17th of this month going to get body fat from my trainer, get it tested by Jamie over at Red Fitness Lounge. But they did the training, that's why I got this little Band-Aid on, so I left it on for the video for effect. So I got this Band-Aid. They take the prick, and then I hold this Omron machine, they call it, to test my body fat percentage. And I'm holding it, I'm anxious. I mean, this was one of those big goals. Pops up, 11.8%. How does that happen? And once again, I'm not telling you these stories to impress you. It's to impress upon the point and to show you, I don't just bring a bunch of fire and saying, I'm going to challenge you and I'm not challenging myself. I'm trying to get better every single day myself. There's things I mess up all the time and I fight to improve every day. But I'm in the challenge, I'm in the fight with you, making myself uncomfortable to speed up the process of mental toughness to get to that next level. 11.8% body fat. We hit the goal because of the daily decisions and choices. Once again, you might be asking, how does this fit in with marketing and branding? It fits in with marketing and branding because for me to build our brand, when I walk into that locker room, as I mentioned, people have to see he's putting in the work. If I was 75 pounds overweight, do you think a linebacker in the NFL is going to listen to what I have to say? Do you think somebody in a boardroom, if I'm talking to them about daily decisions and choices, I'm overweight, I'm drinking too much, I'm not working out, I've got a bad heart, that they're going to listen to me? It's part of the brand. It's living it 24/7. And some of the other things that have grown that blow me away, big opportunities, doors that have been opened, I'm now the co-host of the MFCEO Project Podcast. Check out the podcast, the MFCEO Project Podcast with Andy Frisella, the CEO of First Form. It's a $100 million nutritional supplement company. It's one of the top business podcasts in the world. It's gotten as high as number 3. It's actually been at number 1 for a short period of time, but number 3 for a long period of time. And it's one of the top 25 overall podcasts. These things are happening because of consistency of brand. Instagram followers closing in on 100,000 followers on Instagram. These are crazy things that have happened. Why? Because our team has had consistency of brand, uniqueness of brand, and we are putting it out there as often as we possibly can as a team with one heart collectively to fight to make a difference in our clients' lives because the purpose is so big we can't stop fighting. So one final story to share with all of you, and then you're going to get a video. And the video is going to be one of those moments where I've got nothing to say after this video starts. It's going to finish it perfectly for you. When I was in Richmond, Virginia for the Washington Redskins training camp, this was one of those moments where it was just like, it's happening. Not that we're going to stop growing, but it's happening. The I am statement is becoming true. It's causing us to fight harder and to fight faster and to go bigger and to go stronger and to not stop. The same that it'll do for you. And these are those moments when you realize these things are happening on a big stage and you want to just go bigger because the impact is that great. So many of you know that I went and I gave a talk for the North Dakota State Bison football team after they won their 4th straight national championship. And when I was in Richmond, Virginia for Redskins training camp, I was driving down the street. And for those of you that are on Twitter, I'm looking on Twitter and I had a Twitter message pop up. When you have multiple followers that follow you, retweet the same thing, it gives you a pop-up to check it out. So all of a sudden it pops up and it said, NDSU, North Dakota State, NDSU 2015 football trailer. And it was tweeted by some of the football coaches who I'm corresponding with all the time. And I thought, well, I'm fired up for the season. The team is ready to go. They're going to beat down the door of their legacy for a 5th straight championship. How awesome is this? So I start watching the video. I hit play on the video. I'm driving down the street. And you're going to hear the voice in the background. I got goosebumps. The hairs raised on my arms. And the voice in that video, I didn't even know they were recording it when I was there to do what they did. The voice in the video was my voice. So as you watch this video, recognize these things happen when you believe in yourself. And you believe on such a level that it puts you on stages that maybe right now you don't believe are possible for you. Where can your company go in terms of your market and your brand? How big can you go? Because when I look at that video that you're going to have the opportunity to see, this is going to light you up with some serious fire. When you see this video, it's a reflection that the branding, the marketing, the consistency, the uniqueness, the things we discussed in this video can also work for you if you make the decisions and choices on a daily basis to fight through. Keep fighting. Keep believing. Build that brand. Live that brand 24/7. Until next time for round 9 of the Abstrakt Sales Academy. Now this video is coming too, so don't turn the video off. Go do great things.